It said before, I don't have permission to live stream on my own account. I'm not exactly sure, but I want to know, are you enough? Do you ever have those thoughts? Am I enough? Have I done enough? Am I good enough? Am I doing enough? All those kind of thoughts. And the book club that we have every morning, sorry, every Monday morning. Sorry, I'm a little discombobulated today. Every Monday morning, I have book club inside the master class, one for men and one for women. And we were on page 206. And the thought for today is take every thought captive, taking every thought captive. And this is a verse, and I think we all know that we're kind of commanded to do that, expected to do that. And it says we have to accept the fact that we can control our thoughts. I think that's the first thing, is just really understanding that we can control our thoughts. I can make you think of things just by listing them here. So pandas or clowns, fire trucks, snow, right? Just because you think it doesn't make it real. Just because you think it doesn't make it real. Realizing we can stop a thought and replace it is valuable. This is true for obsessing thoughts too. When we realize we are obsessing, we can stop and replace the thought with something completely different. So the word here is can. Visualize yourself handing your thought over to God and asking him what he thinks about it. So in the conversations that we had this morning, somebody said, I know I can, but I don't know what to do. And so this is where we kind of stopped for a moment and said, okay, visualize yourself being aware. So awareness, you can't heal something that you're not aware of. Being aware of the thought that you have that's negative and saying, okay, I'm going to take this over to God and I'm going to put it in his hands, and visualize yourself handing him this thought. Maybe on a little piece of paper, and you're handing it to him and you're asking him, what do you think about this thought? So some of that is just slowing down the thought process. Surrender the negative. Surrender the negative. Pray for replacement thoughts that are lovely, pure, and of good repute. Now that is scriptural, right? And that comes from Philippians 4:8. I've asked people if they know the verse where we're instructed to think on lovely things. They answer, yeah, they know it. They've heard the verse. Then I asked them to list for me the things that are lovely or admirable. So I was preaching on this one time. I was like, tell me, so what is something that's lovely? And they all like, oh, and they're trying to think, what's lovely. And so if we don't know what those things are, then it's hard to be able to replace them in the spot of negative stuff. So the challenge for you is to maybe make a list of that verse and all the different things it's telling us to think on, and then write something. What is something that's lovely that you can think about? What is something that's admirable that you can think about? So when you're having those obsessive thoughts, you can say, oh, I have some things I can think about instead, right? The idea of thinking good things is pleasant. The idea of thinking good things is pleasant. The practice of thinking good things is challenging. So we have the idea of thinking good things. Oh, yeah, I can think good things, but actually practicing that's challenging. So mostly replace the thought with things that are true. True. Often we try to replace them with happy thoughts, right? Think happy thoughts, positive thinking, rather than factual or truthful thoughts. So truthful and factual thoughts can be happy thoughts, but the goal is to be truthful, right? And factual about the thoughts that we are replacing the negative thoughts with. Many times we believe our negative thoughts rather than acknowledging that they are just thoughts, right? Just having a thought. And we'll have a tendency to believe it just because it's a thought. So give your God your negative thoughts and he will throw them into the sea of forgetfulness. Seriously, he has no desire or need to keep digging them up. Then actively pursue truthful and healthy thoughts. So spend some time. If this week this is all you did was spend some time actively pursuing what are some healthy, truthful thoughts that I can use to replace the negative ones with. You will have to practice this until it becomes natural. And then practice it again, right? So you're going to practice and you're going to practice some more. You're going to practice and keep practicing. This will be something that you have to be aware of and something that you have to be intentional about and something that you pursue. All right. And so we go through the book every week and just a little segment at a time. And it takes 2 years to get through the whole book. And we are actually nearing the end of the second time. So 4 years of going through this book a little bit at a time, right? Just a little bit at a time. And 2 years ago, somebody wrote, I can manage my mind. I can. There's a difference between I can and I do. So you may not do it. And if you think I can't, then you won't. So you have to be able to say, I can manage my mind and believe that I can. It might be hard, but know that you can. So the questions on page 207 say, what negative thoughts are you plagued with the most? And the most common thing I hear is, I'm not good enough. It's across the board. I'm not good enough. The interesting thing that came to mind yesterday was the thought of, I have to prove myself. I have to prove myself. I am not good enough. So therefore, I have to prove that I'm good enough. And there's this constancy of trying to prove yourself good enough to do what God has already called you to do. Or I'm missing something. Everyone is missing something, right? I'm intentionally uninvited. No one wants to truly help me. I'm insufficient, right? So these are some of the things that people think. So what are the truths regarding those thoughts? So the second question is, what are the truths regarding those thoughts? Not how you feel about them. So you have to look at a thought and just say it's a thought. What is true? Is it true or not? If I look at it, if I take it to God and use it scripturally, is it true or not? Not how I feel about it. Can you release the negative thought and receive the truth? So that's a challenge. So yes, you can, I can, and then you have to ask yourself, are you allowing yourself to do so? And the next question says, where will you post the truths you write below so that you can remind yourself? So in the ladies group this morning, somebody had mentioned the fact about making alarms on your phone. And I've done that for a wide variety of things. So if you take your positive thought that you need to remind yourself the most and post it in an alarm on your phone, and it can just be set on vibrate, it doesn't have to ring or anything like that. Every day you're going to be reminded about the truth, because we know that the truth sets us free. So I hope that this is helpful for somebody today, and to know that you do not have to continually prove yourself, because God designed you specifically for where you are right now, for what He intended you to do, if you're walking in the truth that He has given you. So please remember that the truth sets us free.